not be stuck under this. I'm spending the next 3 days and 2 nights overlanding solo through the Utah desert, traveling on one of the most remote trails in Moab. I'm taking Hurrah Pass to my first camping spot, just off of the Catacomb Spur trail. On days 2 and 3, I'll be traveling south on the Lockhart Basin trail, far away from everybody and everything, with a quick stop at Chicken Corners. It looks like the spot that I had picked out is empty, which is great. It's kind of off the trail, a little secluded, and hopefully provides a little bit of a break from the wind. It is crazy windy today, gusts in excess of 40 miles an hour. Running a little bit behind. The scenery is beautiful. Tomorrow I'll have time to do a little bit more exploring and get some good shots. But for now, I just got to get the campsite set up before it gets dark. So I'm gonna get the Jeep turned around and get set up. Good morning. Thankfully the wind died down last night, so I was able to get a good night of sleep. So the plan for the day is I'm going to check out Catacomb Rock, which is just right there, right next to my camp spot, and go down and check out Chicken Corners. Then I'm going to jump onto Lockhart Basin, do about half of that route maybe, and then find the camp spot for the day. I need to take a second to share my frustration with the auxiliary battery in my Jeep Gladiator, it not wanting to start. I drove it all day yesterday, plenty of time to charge, but this morning again, it wouldn't start. But what I ended up having to do is I have to take my jump starter and I have to put the positive lead there. That goes to the auxiliary battery, and of course put my negative, wherever. And I have to jump start the auxiliary battery, even though the main battery is in good shape. This auxiliary battery has been nothing but headaches for me. Hopefully, I won't have any more of these issues for the rest of the trip, because I've still got another day out here. I'm all packed up, ready to take off, but whenever I'm at a campsite, I like to make sure I leave it better than I found it. And somebody had left some scotch here, and I am not going to drink random scotch left out. So I'm going to try to pour that out, take it with me, and ruining a teenager's dream of finding some whiskey when they're out camping. I'm sorry. My first camp spot that I was just at, it was just off of the Lockhart Basin Road, down the Catacomb Spur, and right at the point where the Catacomb Spur starts, there is Catacomb Rock. So I am going to check that out. You can kind of walk around in and out of it, and we'll see what that's all about. Do some exploring here. It seems like a place where you would find some kind of wild animal. So that was a pretty cool area. Definitely worth the stop. I think kids will have a really good time in there. A lot of places to check out, explore, and hide and have fun. Now we're gonna head down to Chicken Corners. made it out to Chicken Corners. The trail isn't too bad, except when you actually get to Chicken Corner. Problem is that it is muddy and there's 2 huge mud holes. So when you're taking that corner on the edge and you're it's all muddy and stuff, that was a little bit tense. So definitely harder than I was anticipating. Wasn't too bad. It's just like, well, how close am I to the edge, and what happens if I start losing traction and I start sliding off? But I made it. It's a beautiful area. If you're familiar with Moab at all, we're on the other side of the Colorado River, across from Canyonlands in Dead Horse. So Dead Horse is right about there. Island in the Sky is kind of right over there, but I gotta hit the trail to get back to do Lockhart Basin and find my first campsite for the day. Everything is taking a little bit longer than I anticipated today. Okay, so I put a GoPro on the front of the car. I'm heading back, gonna cross Chicken Corners coming from the other direction now. But those mud holes made it seem like it was pretty sketchy, but there's a difference between how it feels and what it actually is. So I put the GoPro up front. I'm curious to see, what it's like from that viewpoint. Okay, looks like we're all clear. Definitely muddy and slick, and that appears to be the edge right there. So yeah, that's a little nerve-wracking. And we got one more here. This one is not nearly as close to the edge here. Let's see. Chicken Corners is a nice trail. I'm glad I took the time out to go see it. It has amazing views of the Colorado River. You get to see Dead Horse State Park and Canyonlands Island in the Sky from a different perspective. There were a few campsites, and they did have great views, I will say that, but I don't think I would camp there personally, just because there's just going to be a lot of trail activity, and this is a pretty popular route. Just on this time I was on, I saw, maybe 10 side-by-sides, 7 or 8 vehicles, a couple of motorcycles, so there's just a lot of activity. So you're going to have a lot of trail traffic, and typically when I camp I want to be a little bit more secluded, a little bit more to myself, so I would take a pass. But if you don't mind that, definitely a nice place to camp. I'm going to put together a blog post on my website. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll just kind of talk a little bit about the trail as far as potential campsites, what the trail's like, and just some different information I think might be helpful for anybody that's coming out in this area. Not only Chicken Corners, but Lockhart Basin and Hurrah Pass. So check that out if you're interested. When you're coming down this trail, you get to a point where it splits off. You go that way, that takes you to Chicken Corners, which I was just at. Head that way, that takes you down Lockhart Basin, where I'm going next. And apparently, it's a thing to leave chickens. If only I would have known. So just started the Lockhart Trail, and I ran into a hiker. He started at the Moab airport and is going to hike all the way to the Grand Canyon. This is like a month-long journey, which is insane. I like to go hiking, but nothing at that level. So mad respect to him, not me though.
So far the trail has been rough, but 100% doable. I'll just have to get out a lot and self-spot. I think this might be the last big rocky climb out, based on the YouTube videos. Okay, it looks worse from inside the vehicle than it really is, so I think I should be able to find a good line here. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Let's see what we got up here. Okay, so this is the only part I'm concerned about right here, is if I'm gonna catch my diff. That's sticking up pretty high, so I'll have to think about this one. You don't really have another option, really. Okay, this is going to be attempt number 3 to get up this thing. Looks like we might be stuck into this, right on that skid plate, so I'm going to get some rocks. Hopefully I can get over this thing. Okay, attempt number 4, I think. Okay, try this again. This is nuts. There we go. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I thought I had it. I'm not giving up. I think I might reposition a few things, a few minor things. I might be able to do this. So how's that saying go? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I am taking that to heart. I took a little bit of a break, repositioned some rocks, got the max tracks ready. Think I found a line that's doable. The long wheelbase might have finally caught up to me, but I can't be the first gladiator to ever do this. And I don't think lockers will make a difference because I'm just getting hung up, on the belly there. So I have a new plan. Let's see how it goes. Ah, there we go. Okay, that goes to show he's got to take your breath, think through it, and you can do it. That's the crazy thing, is that I've taken this on so many different trails, and I almost was defeated by that. Nuts. Oh my lord. Well, this was definitely a learning experience. Okay, let me regroup here. And on we go. That ate up way too much time. Thanks. You're making good time. Good job.
Where are you going tonight?
I have a camp spot a little bit down the ways.
Cool. Maybe I catch later.
Yeah. Man, if it's not one thing, it's another. So I'm already running super late. I try to get to the campsite I want. And now it is snow hailing. I can see those clouds off in the distance. I was hoping they would miss me. Well, I just pulled up to the campsite and the wind is insane out there. I can see a storm coming in. I don't know if I could wait the wind and the storm out and then set up, but it might be in the dark. Trying to set up that tent by myself in this wind is gonna be a challenge. I didn't record it, but between getting stuck and getting out to this campsite, I got semi-stuck 2 more times, which is nuts because this trail is not anything crazy. And, you know, I have never used the Max Tracks, you know, to get myself out of any situation up until today. You know, for the times I got semi-stuck, I had to use the Max Tracks twice, so I'm glad I brought them with me. It's just one of those trips for whatever reason. I got set up and in here just in time. That wind was howling. It was kind of a sleet, rain, snow kind of mix. Happy to be in here and all settled. Not the night I was anticipating, but hey, you work with what you got. I'm curious how that hiker is doing. I'm sure he's prepared. If you're doing a month-long hike to the Grand Canyon, I'm sure you make sure you have everything you need. But definitely not the best night out there for anybody. Last night wasn't too bad. The storm hit quickly and left just as quickly. So I was able to get some good sleep, get a fresh start. You know, yesterday had its challenges, but today is a new day. I'm gonna get out here and finish this last half of the trail, enjoy this beautiful scenery. I figure a good indication of how this day is going to go is if the Jeep starts without me having to jump the battery. So we'll see. Crossing my fingers. Okay. Ah, yes. That's a good sign for the day. Starting off better than yesterday did.
And this is a really nice camp spot. I'm gonna mark this on Guy if I ever make this trip again. And the view is incredible. It's like it's big enough for multiple vehicles. And I gotta look down on kind of like the Needles, kind of a look. This is a really nice spot.
Where I camped at wasn't halfway distance-wise, but I guesstimated it was probably about halfway time-wise. And I think I was right, because when you're up there on the rim of by the base of the canyon, it is slow going. You know, you're going in and out of washes up and down, and there's obstacles there. So that goes really slow. But once you actually work your way down to the floor of the canyon, this is just an ordinary dirt road now, so I'm making up quite a bit of time. Because when you were just if I was just looking at Guy, I was like, man, I've hardly gone any distance. This will take forever. I am really shocked that I have not seen one vehicle on this trail this entire time. The only person I've seen is the hiker. I have never been on a trail where I never saw any other vehicles. I've been out there where I saw like maybe one, but I have not seen one vehicle the whole time out here, which was really surprising to me, especially since Moab is so popular. And there's quite a few people when I was doing Chicken Corners, but I guess Chicken Corners is an easy trail out and back. You see it and you can head back into town or do whatever you want to do. This trail is quite a bit longer. So if you are going to do this trip solo, you definitely have to be able to self-recover. The Max Tracks got me out of a couple of sticky situations that I wasn't able to record, and it wasn't really that the obstacles were hard or anything. It's I think it's just a couple of mental errors. You know, I was running behind too in a hurry, and I was not exactly on the line that I thought I was on, so it kind of got me semi-stuck. I was out in a few minutes. Not like all the problems I had with that final obstacle coming out of that wash there. That was nuts. Everything didn't go as I had planned, but you know, what cool story starts with everything went the way I planned. This is definitely one that I will remember. I started off in Moab and worked my way down south, and this trail eventually connects to the road that takes you to the Needles district of Canyonland National Park, like if you're going to go to Elephant Hill. You could do this trail in one day, but boy, you would be moving. I would recommend make it a 2-day trip, so that way you're not going to be crunched for time.
I decided to stop because I found another cool campsite. Getting pretty close to the road that takes you to Elephant Hill, and you can see the terrain is quite a bit different than where we started. You know, the canyons are gone, and this is very familiar. Looks very much like Elephant Hill if you've ever been out there. Fit a couple of vehicles over here. I have camped on the Elephant Hill Road Trail. You know, getting in and out is, you know, no easy feat. So something like this might be nice if you want to be in the area, but not actually have to go all the way into that trail with all your camping gear. Because it's beautiful, but not an easy thing to do. So this could be a, you know, easier option, especially if you have someone that doesn't have a rig capable of getting through Elephant Hill.
This camp spot doesn't look like anything particularly special until you follow the sound of the water and you see this small waterfall in your own tiny private beach. Yeah, I had no idea anything like this was out here. So it's just like, you know, camping in the national park, but without all the restrictions. Okay, I'm finally starting to see more people, and that makes sense because I am just about to the main road that takes you into the Needles District, and right now this road is a well-maintained dirt road. Any vehicle can get on it, so I'm going to see camper vans, past a couple of official campsites. So there's quite a few spots here, and they're actually pretty nice. I think during the high season this area probably gets pretty crowded. It's just something to keep in mind if you're ever going to be in this area. If you want to be close to Needles without actually having to camp inside the national park, this is definitely an option. There's a number of campsites down here if you're on this side, official and dispersed. Looks like right here is a campsite called Hamburger Rock, and that does look pretty nice. I need to air up, so I decided to turn around and actually check out this hamburger campsite to see what it's like. I had a great time on this trip, but it doesn't compare to the 5 days I spent solo overlanding through southern Utah. Click here to check out that adventure.